give him a point here to start 2021. What are your thoughts on the game?
Listen, I think in the end, with the way the game was going, I think it's a good point and we're pleased with it. We didn't play well in the first half. Kilmarnock were by far the better team and deserved to go in front. But I knew I'd get a reaction from the players, and I thought second half we were a lot better. We were a lot tidier and crisper in our passing and our possession. First half I thought we made a lot of sloppy mistakes and gave it away too cheaply. Second half we controlled large spells of the game, but lacked that little bit of cutting edge in the top end, and seemed to be saying that quite a bit in the last couple of games. But credit to the players, they kept going. It's been a real busy 3 weeks for the boys. Today's our 7th game in 21 days, which is a lot of football, and I think that showed at times today. There seemed to be a lot of tired legs and tired minds, so we're glad not to have any midweek games coming up. We can look after the players, give them a couple of days off, and try and recharge the batteries for next weekend.
You mentioned the lack of cutting edge maybe up top, and you've said that's something you've maybe said a couple of times over the last few weeks. Given that the January transfer window is now opened, is that something you'll maybe try to rectify?
Listen, I think we've got really good players here within the team, within the squad, but I think it's a position in the team that we do constantly need to look at and need to strengthen. It's as simple as that. We need more assists from the attacking players and we need more goals. It's as simple as that. Today we got lucky. I think sometimes you get your rewards for your endeavour and your willingness to keep going right to the last minute, and which the players, in fairness to them, always do. But today was a real fortunate goal in our case, and other than that, I don't think we've done enough to win the game. Danny Rogers makes a great save from Shaughnessy, I think it was, with the header. Other than that, I don't think we've had any other real clear-cut opportunities. So that's something that we will need to look at, whether it's different personnel coming in or whether it's just working harder on the training ground. We'll see. But I think when you come away from home in the Premier League, a point is always a decent result. Obviously we came here wanting to get 2021 off to a winning start, but when we were behind in the game for so long, I think the point is a good win in the end.
So it's Motherwell next week. Something else that you mentioned was the fact that there's no midweek game. It's the first time in quite a while that we've not had that. Does that give you a chance to put a bit more work in the training field as opposed to what you maybe have to do, which would have been a lot of rest and recovery?
No, look, I mean, I don't think it's a case of more work. I think this week we'll probably take advantage of the no midweek game and we'll actually come off the training a little bit. We'll still train throughout the week, but with probably less intensity, because as you can imagine there are a lot of tired legs there. Some of the squad haven't played quite as much as others, and we'll do a little bit extra with them just to make sure that their fitness levels aren't dropping. But the majority of the lads, like there's 8 or 9 players who have consistently played game after game, and we need to be careful with them because we're going into the business part of the season now, the second half of the season, where we need to make sure we keep everybody fit, and we can't afford any muscle injuries. So I'll be led by the advice of Junior Mendes and Kevin Bain on that one. But no, it's not about work. I mean, the boys are working tirelessly every single day, and they're a really good bunch of boys. I think we just need to look after them now this week, and we've been Saturday, Wednesday for 3 weeks. It's great now to have that midweek break.
Richard Tate took a sore one very early on in the game and had to come off. How's you doing?
Yeah, I mean, look, if there was one player in the team that's going to want to try and play on, it's Tate. He's a real warrior, and but we don't want to take a risk with any of our players, and the doctor and Kevin have made that call, and I think it's the right one. We can't afford to risk anyone's health in situations like that. So it was the right decision to make. He's a big player for us, obviously disrupted things. We had to move the pack around a little bit. But yeah, look, that's why you've got a squad at the end of the day. Tates is fine, he's sitting up in the dressing room, he's chirpy, he's delighted for the players that they've got something from the game, and he'll be fine come next weekend, I've no doubt.
Yeah, another big game as well against Motherwell at home. What are you expecting from them, given what's happened there with them recently? Well,
look, they're on a poor run of form, there's no doubt about that, hence why Stephen Robinson is unfortunately stepped aside. I know they've had another poor result today against Hamilton, so look, they seem like a team that's low in confidence, but the same way our good unbeaten run needs to come to an end, teams who are on losing runs also need to come to an end at some point. We need to make sure that's not against us next weekend. But I'm sure Motherwell, probably similar to ourselves, are quite satisfied that there is no midweek game, and they can work on the training pitch with their players, and it should be a decent game. I think it always is when we play Motherwell. You know, two good passing teams. You know, both will be trying to get the win, and hopefully we can go and take all 3 points on the day.
Take confidence from the fact that we went to Fir Park a few weeks ago and won.
Of course, yeah, definitely. I mean, look, I think the boys have been on a brilliant run. You know, the last 14-15 games have been excellent, really. The defeats that we've had, you know, recently, they won to Rangers on Wednesday. You know, it wasn't a great deal in it. I thought it were two very fortunate goals from Rangers' point of view. Went to Easter Road last week, done really, really well. You know, the teams that we've lost to, there's no great shame in it. But you know, we don't fear anybody, James. I keep saying it, and I know I sound like a broken record, but we genuinely believe that we're capable of beating anybody in the league, and that's got to be the mindset now going into the second half of the campaign.
Lastly, do you expect any new faces in for that game next week?
They'll probably come too early. I think we are working on one or two things, but you know, there's no real great rush to get anything done. You know, we've been speaking to a number of players now for 3 or 4 weeks, you know, and you know, we've got good, talented players, I think, identified. It's just now trying to get the deals over the line, isn't it? You know, we're not looking at bringing in half a dozen players or anything like that, but if there are one or two in key areas that we feel we need to strengthen, then we're in a position to do it.
Jim, thanks very much for your time.
Thanks, James.